Okay, so I've made a few tutorials now where we've been working with Neve as our theme. We've been working with Otter Blocks and Stackable as our plugins. It occurred to me I never made a video showing you how to set those things up. So we are going to go ahead and do that today. The first thing you want to do is install local. This sets up a local web server on your actual computer, so you don't have to have hosting. It's like any other program. Google it, go to the website, download it, install it. So we have it ready to go here already. Let's go ahead and stop that site. All right, so when you fire it up for the first time, you're not going to have anything over here under local sites. So down in the bottom left-hand corner, click on the plus sign, create new site. Down here in the bottom right, click continue, and the name. Preferred is fine. Go ahead and click continue, and this isn't exactly the most secure thing in the world, so we're just going to do test and test, and the WordPress email you can leave alone. All right, so what it's doing now is installing an actual web server on your computer. It's also going to install WordPress on top of that so that you can actually access what you're working on through a web browser on your computer. Now we're going to get a message from Windows. There it is. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes, we do. All right, now it's adding WordPress. That's a few hundred megabytes maybe. So this is kind of CPU intensive. I have 40 gigabytes of RAM, but it's only a 4-core, 8-thread machine. So some of this it's slower on my computer than it would be if I was actually working online right now. And so we wait. And over here under local sites, you can set up as many of these as you want, as far as I know. It's good if you want to keep ideas segregated. Like I'm working with a theme over here called Hestia, and I only want to be working with it. Scroll down here in testing 2, we're going to be working with Neve. Here I have Spectra Pro. I only want Spectra Pro on there, so I have a whole site just for Spectra Pro. Should be about done. Okay. Testing 2 added. So here's the screen that you're going to run into when you first set up your site. Over here on the left-hand side, we see testing 2 is highlighted. If we go to the top right, we see stop site. But that is because when you set up a site, it starts the web server automatically. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Now, if you already had something set up and you just opened local and you wanted to get it running and get back into it and get back to what you were doing, you would highlight it over here on the left-hand side under local sites. Then you would go up here and you would click on start site, and that starts the web server. All right, great. Now go ahead and click on WP admin. This opens up the WordPress administrative console. If you're new to WordPress, you're going to get very used to this. Okay, once again, our super secret username and password. I guess you could just remember me. Okay, this is the default WordPress 6.3 interface. So first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and install a theme. In this case, Neve. Go to Appearance and go to Themes. Now the first thing you're going to see is that with version 6.3 of WordPress, these 3 themes come installed by default. We don't care about those. You can delete them if you want to. Go up here to Add New. All right, we have a couple of options: upload and search. If we had paid for a theme, we would have probably downloaded it as a zip file, in which case we would click on upload theme. But we're looking for the free version of Neve, so over here in search themes, just type in Neve, Neve, theme app, press enter. Give it a second. Now, even though this is on your computer, it is pulling all of this stuff from the internet. All right, our first option over here is Neve. Go ahead and click on install. And it installs pretty quick. The whole code base for Neve is something like 28 kilobytes. It's incredibly fast. So go ahead and click on Activate. Now, like I said, this is the free version. There is a paid-for version. The free version, while it has limitations, it's great for our purposes. Two, it's still incredibly powerful. Neve is my favorite by far and away. I had trouble calling it a theme. Um, it's pretty flexible. You can really dig into the code. It's closer to a framework, but that is for another video. So we don't want to click on Customize yet. We need to install our plugins. So go over here to Plugins on the left. Go and select Add New. And this is the same deal. If we had purchased plugins, there's a likelihood that we would have a zip file to upload. But we're going for the free version. So I'll go ahead and type in Otter. Should be our first result. All right, and here it is, Otter Blocks, the free version. Now, it's not a demo. This is very much, it's obviously, it's not fully featured as the free version, but it's thoroughly featured, even though it's free. Okay, so it's installed. Once again, click on Activate. There's a reason to be able to activate and deactivate plugins, but that is for another video. All right, brought us to the Otter dashboard. We don't care about that right now. We're going to go back over to Plugins, Add New. And type in Stackable. Install now. All right, once again, click Activate. All right, since you're if you're following along with these tutorials, you're obviously new to this. So, oh, and by the way, if you're testing this stuff out, you're probably going to be installing Stackable over and over and over and over and over again. I just go ahead and click Skip. Okay, so if we want a starter site, if we want something pre-built to work with, we go over to Neve, we go and click on Neve Options. And they have, I think, about 30 starter sites. Go ahead and click on starter sites. It's going to prompt you. It's going to say it needs to install the Cloud Templates and Patterns Collection plugin. Go ahead and click on Install and Activate. I'm not a big fan of taking a theme, replacing the pictures, adding your own text, and saying, hey, look what I did. This is my website. I think that's kind of cheap. I think it's cheating. And it gives web design a bad name. But here are all of the starter sites that we have. You'll see most of them have this green button that says Premium with a lock on it. You can only use those with the premium version. But right now, I'm not going to be installing any of them. I recommend playing around with the web agency theme and the Neve 3 theme. But like I said, we'll get into that another day. So go up here to New. So we have Neve activated. It's installed and activated. We have Otter Blocks installed and activated. We have Stackable installed and activated. Go up here to New. Go down to Page. Personally, I'm going to right click on it and say Open in New Tab. Now you'll notice up here in the address bar, you can just click that away. Up here, and you can click that away too. Up here in the address bar, it says testing2.local. Since it's an actual web server, you can open up any web browser, type in testing2.local, and it will fire up whatever you're working on. If you type in testing2.local/wp-admin in another web browser, it'll pop up, but it will be asking for your username and password. And instead of simply showing you the site, it will log you into the administrative console. Okay. Let's create a nice blank slate. Disable. I went over here and I clicked on the N. That's for Neve, obviously. Go down to Elements, Disable Title, Disable Footer, Disable Header. If you're working with starter site, you're probably not gonna want to do that. Instead, you're gonna want to learn how to edit those things. That's again out of the scope of this video. We're just getting started here. Okay, now there are a few ways to insert blocks. If I go up here and I click in where it says type slash, is it a forward slash? Is it a backslash? You know what's appropriate? It's appropriate that it has the question mark on it because I always forget. So slash. Okay, now this little menu that popped up is by no stretch the total number of blocks that we have available to us. If you start typing, it starts changing until you get to either exactly what you're looking for, or if you're not 100% sure, is it a container? No, it's not a container. Let's see, what is it? It's is it a column? Oh no, a section. That's what I want, right? Okay, but well, I'll just show you. Type it in. Let's say it was a section that you wanted. You go ahead and click on it to add it. You have your options over here. Click full, click skip, doesn't matter because I am going to go ahead and delete that. So I clicked on this little staircase up here. And you go up to the top section, that's what we just added. I'm going to delete it for now. And actually we might be stuck with that paragraph, but that's okay. Okay, so if you want to see everything you have installed, click on this blue plus symbol up here. And right away, we have everything that comes with the free version of Stackable. As you can see, it's actually quite a lot, and it's all incredibly useful stuff. So if you want to add something from here, you just click on it. There it is. Let's see, icon label, icon box. Oh, there's my computer being slow again. And if you want to get rid of this pane on the left-hand side, just click on the stair step again and it's gone. Let's see. Maybe we want a separator. Let's see. Some tabs. Tabs are really useful, by the way. Okay, so feel free to just play around with that and see what it all does. If we scroll down a little further, we run into Otter. This is everything that comes installed by default with the free version of Otter. It's a lot less than Stackable, but I'm a big fan of Otter. Their plugins are very powerful. One thing you're gonna eventually notice, we'll just add some random stuff here. One thing you're gonna eventually notice is that there's crossover. You'll have Stackable blocks, like button, for example, and you'll get onto Otter, and you'll have a button group or a button. You'll have the same thing, but they're different products. They each have their strengths and weaknesses and how they can be configured. So it's worth playing around with both to see what the differences between are. Each one is. And blocks are compatible with blocks. So if you have a section over here and you want to add, let's say, I think we added this from Stackable. Let's say we want to add this paragraph from Otter. It's no problem. Blocks work with blocks. And if you want to take a look at what you've got going on, we'll wait for it to auto save. All right. Okay, there we go. If you want to look at what you have without saving it, click on this little icon here and click on Preview in New Tab. Give it a minute and it will generate the page that you have created so far. So it's gonna, got a nice little animation there. It's showing us everything that we just randomly threw onto the screen. None of it's configured any special way. We did do a flip card. Those are really fun to work with. Anyway, you can go ahead and X out of that. And there's something else I want you to notice. So when we click on this tab, we have the preview in new tab, but as you'll see, desktop is selected. If we want to see what this looks like in tablet, we would click tablet, then preview a new tab, or mobile. if you want to see what it looked like on a phone. All right, now there's something that's unique to Stackable. With Stackable installed, you'll have this up here, this design library item. Go ahead and click on that. And this is really interesting and really useful. It does highlight the limitations of the free version, but I think you get a lot of mileage out of the free version. So this is our design library from Stackable. Let's go here to block designs. And the first thing you're going to notice is all of these items that have red dots. Those are only available in the paid for version. Let's find something that's not. All right, here's a nice call to action. Let's click on that to add it. Okay, so as you can see, as I mouse over it, this call to action is made up of a number of blocks put together into its own section. You can modify the text, you can delete parts of it, you can add new blocks, you can change the background, you can delete the background, you can do this and you can do that. You can start with something like this. By no means, though, will the finished product look anything like it by the time you're done. It's good for inspiration, gets the brain going. Let's go back up to design library. This time we're going to go over to user interface kits, and right away you're going to notice, hey, there's some crossover here. We just added this call to action from the block design. So yeah, there is overlap between the block designs and user interface kits. Whatever. And you'll also notice over here in the design library, these are all of the categories that we have available. Everything that's grayed out is only with the Pro version. So let's go over to wireframes. This is probably the most powerful section. And there's nothing in here that costs money. So let's say you're working on a section of a website. You have an idea in mind. Maybe you sketched it out. There's a possibility that whatever you want to build is already available in here as a wireframe. These are our entire sections of websites that are already built. So for example, we'll go to, not that one, let's see, something that I've actually used before would be, here we go. And this is kind of like a hero section that would be at the top of the page. So we have more than just a few blocks. We have an entire configured section. We can change the text. We can click here to add an image from our image library or upload an image. We can delete parts of it. We can add new parts to it. And by the time it's all said and done, it'll be really nice looking. There's nothing in it, but let's just go ahead and preview it in a new tab. That's something we'll get into more depth with in a future tutorial. So yeah, and since we added it last, it's actually at the bottom. Now let's say we don't want it at the bottom. Go next out of that. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and select it, and if you want it, all right. So take for example here in the call to action. It says prompt and action now. It's called a call for action section. That's the actual name. If we click on get a quote, it's only selecting that item. If we click on the text, it's only selecting that item. And you'll see these arrows over here. That'll move stuff around. But if you want to move an entire section and you want to make sure you've actually got the whole thing selected, click on the little staircase over here. And so, for example, the this section here that we just added from the user interface kit is at the bottom. If we click on the arrow next to where it says columns, and that arrow, and that arrow, and that arrow, and then this is everything that's inside of it. If we want to move it to the top, we have a couple of options. We can go up here and we can click up, the up arrow, and you'll see this is now above the call to action, or you can just grab it, pull it up to the top, and now it's at the top. Okay. And as far as getting Neve going, Otter Blocks and Stackable is concerned, I think that just about does it for today. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.